Hey guys, in today's video we're reviewing a budget optic from MidTen. So MidTen is a company on Amazon that sells affordable optics and all kinds of affordable rifle stuff. So we're going to be doing an unboxing showing its features, and we're going to do a clarity test. Clarity test will consist of setting different things out or looking at different things at different ranges to show you guys the clarity, and we'll be using a camera, so you'll be able to look through the scope and determine what you think about it, and I'll give you my opinion on what I think about the clarity. But this thing is an affordable optic, and we're gonna unbox it and then do all that good stuff. So let's unbox it. Alright, so here's the scope. This is what the packaging looks like, and it gives you some features right off the bat. And let's open it. So we got some batteries, and it does have an illuminated reticle, and we're just gonna pull it out. And those were the scope rings. It does come with some Picatinny scope rings. If you don't know, there's a difference between Picatinny and dovetail. Picatinny is pretty standard on more tactical guns, and dovetail is normally put on brake barrels. And this, I believe, is brake barrel compatible because it says recoil and shock proof. So, alright, they make sure it's very well packaged, as you can tell. We're going to take this one out, and it looks like some silicone that says do not eat, obviously. We got a lens cleaning cloth, a manual, and we'll go over the manual too, and we're going to unwrap the scope itself. So obviously they care how the scope comes to you, very well packaged. And here we have the scopes right here, or the scope right here. This thing comes in at 15 inches long. It is big. It's a 6x24 scope, and it has an adjustable objective, which is very nice, especially for people like me who like shooting sometimes at closer ranges. It focuses down to 10 yards. So let's take a look at these scope rings real quick. So they come in this little box, and I'm just gonna open it, pull them out, and here's our scope rings right here. So this is what the scope rings look like. So what this is this big hole on the bottom. If you have iron sights, then you can use your iron sights or your scope. So pretty interesting, and I think it also keeps it so they're pretty light. So these look like high profile rings. Let's say your cheap comb is a little bit too high, then you would use one of these. It has this felt padding in there to keep your scope from moving or scratching it. So that's what these look like, and they have very thick Allen key bolts, which is very important. I have had some that stripped out on me because they were too thin. So here's your Allen key right here. I'll give you guys a closer look at these. It looks like they're very well machined. Actually, very impressively machined. A+ for these scope rings from MidTen, honestly. And also, these mounts right here, sometimes they'll be too thin and they'll bend out, but these look pretty solid, and they don't look like they should bend on you. And that's a very big issue. A lot of cheaper scope rings will actually bend on you because they're too thin. A+, man, MidTen's got it going. We'll take a look at their menu. So we're gonna take a look at this manual, and I think it got bent in packaging, but yeah. So here is their logo, and it looks like they kind of got some features on the back telling you, or it looks like they got some specifications telling you what each of the things do, and you have some specs right here. So you're just gonna open it up, and this tells you all kinds of instructions on what to do with your rifle scope and stuff. So that's very helpful. Give you like a full guide to use it, and they give you pictures, which is also very helpful. And if you guys can believe it, when I first got my first gun, I had no idea how in the world you're supposed to sight it in, which is pretty bad. So this should tell you exactly how to do that. Alright, I'm going to give you guys a quick overview of the scope to help you guys understand what it all does. So, first we're going to start here. What this is your adjustable diopter. This is the thing that focuses to your eye. This is your adjustable illumination. So this turns the reticle, which is the lines inside the scope, either red or green. This right here is your magnification adjustment. You have a 6 to 24. So right now it's on 24 zoom, and we would turn it this way and go down to 6 power. And it has a little indicator dot right there to tell you what magnification you have it on. This is your scope turrets, or cap turrets, and this is your windage, or this is your elevation. So let's say you're sighting in your gun. Your gun's hitting low you would want to turn up like this, and that adjusts your elevation. This is your windage. If your gun's shooting left, you would turn it this way to turn it left, turn it this way to turn it right. And the turrets are very positive. Click in, listen to this. Almost no slop. I did notice that sometimes when I'm turning it, I will skip a bit, but almost no slop at all, which is very interesting considering it's such a budget scope. So, barely any slop at all. I don't notice barely any slop. This is your adjustable objective. Basically what this does is, let's say you have a target at 50 yards. It's going to be clear when you dial this to 50. So this basically, this focuses it to 50 yards. And let's say you want to focus it at 10 yards. You would turn it and go to 10 yards, and it has a little indication on what yardage you're on. This goes to 10 to infinite. So whatever in between infinite yards and 10 yards, it'll focus down to. So pretty nice. And this is a 1-inch tube too. So yeah, that's pretty standard, and you can find lots of rings on them. If you need a dovetail, just type them in. They're like 15 bucks, and that's pretty cool. And it even looks like it kind of has a throw lever right here, so if you want to put a throw lever on there, you can. So that's a quick overview of the scope. Let's go over the specs. Some of the specs are the magnification 6:24, objective lens diameter. This right here is your objective lens, and this basically limits how much light is allowed to go to the scope to your eye. So this is a 50 millimeter, which is pretty big. So this is letting in lots of light to ensure you get a clear, crisp image. This, your eyepiece, is a 35 millimeter. The reticle type is called a rangefinder. Basically, if you don't know, you can actually determine the range from a target with the reticle inside of here. And it also helps with drop compensation. Let's say you sight in at 50 yards, your gun drops 2 inches. At 100 yards, you're going to hold 2 MOA, which this has a drop compensator. It's like a what they call a Christmas tree reticle. So, pretty cool. The windage and elevation is 1/8 MOA at 100 yards. The windage and elevation adjustment is 30 MOA. The tube diameter is 1 inch. The length is 15.7 inches. And the weight is 22 ounces. So this comes in to be a very lightweight scope. It's a fully multi-coated lens. So, pretty good. Those are the specs of the 6:24 by 50 MidTen rifle scope. And I'm going to show you guys the clarity of the scope. Here is a power line post at 100 yards, and we're at 6 power, and we're just going to start slowly zooming in to 24 power. So you can actually see the outlines of the wood, and that the little mark on the wood pole on the bottom. I'll point an arrow to it. If that were a target, then you could definitely hit it. So that's 100 yards. That's what it looks like at 24 power at 100 yards. So the tree line is about 400 yards, and that little white box is around 370 yards. And this is what it looks like at 6 power. We're gonna start slowly zooming in. So. Alright, this is 24 magnification. Very actually clear. And in person it does look better, but the camera is showing about the same thing that I see when I look through the scope. But yeah, so this is what the clarity looks like at 400 yards. Alright, so we are looking through the scope again with the camera, and this is what it looks like at some tractors at about 700 yards at 6 power. We're going to start slowly zooming in now. So this is what the camera's picking up at about 700 yards at these tractors. As you can see, the quality has definitely dropped at 700 yards. It looks a little bit more hazy, and it just looks like you're looking through a big mirage. And obviously that's what you're gonna get. And also, again, the camera does not do this justice. It does look a little bit. So what you're looking through the camera, if I can explain it correctly, what you're looking through the camera is it's lost color. The color actually is there when I look through the scope. for whatever reason, the camera just doesn't seem to really like this glass very much. Cameras and scopes do not go very well together. And some cameras like certain glass might look better and all that stuff. Even an $1,000 scope can look really bad to a camera. So it's just the camera sometimes just doesn't fit with certain glass. But as you can see, you can still tell what you're looking at, and if there was a deer, you might be able to snipe him at 700 yards. So this is what it looks like at 700 yards at these tractors. That fence back there is at about 1,000 yards, and it's to the right. I'll probably put an arrow. I've tried to zoom in, but as you can see, every time I zoom in, it like does this. I don't know why. That's what a fence looks like at 24 power at 1,000 yards. And I've tried to, I might crop the video, but again, that'll lower the quality of the picture. But that is what a fence looks like at 1,000 yards at 24 power. And I tried my best to make it as clear as possible. Alright, so GB Outdoors is actually going to be GB Indoors. The camera was not picking up the illuminated reticle outside, so I had to move in my room. So that's why it's blurry, but you will still be able to see the illuminated reticle. So we're going to show you the different powers. There is 5 different powers. We're going to go red and green. So this is the red. This is power 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 is really bright, and this is red. Obviously, if you were outdoors, it'd probably look a little bit brighter at nighttime, but that's what it looks like. Let's go to the green one. So in between the different colors, it will turn off. We're going to the green 1, green 2, green 3, green 4, and green 5. So green seems to be a little bit brighter than red, actually, so that's pretty cool. But that is what the illuminated reticle looks like, and sorry if I couldn't do it outside. The camera, again, was not wanting to pick up the illuminated reticle. So that is what it looks like. Alright, hey guys, I'm going to give you my opinion on the 6-24 by 50 MidTen rifle scope. First impressions, I'm very impressed. It's a little suspicious how decently priced this is and for the quality you're getting. I will say, I'll give you my negatives and I'll give you my positives. We'll first go over the positives. The magnification is very smooth. The turrets are very clicky, like very positive clicks. You know when you click them. You can probably hear it. Very impressive. I like how they gave you scope rings. So the rings, I'm very impressed with the rings. They're very impressively machined. Again, for $40, I'm very impressed with it. Very nice rings. I like how they added the objective lens. The objective lens is a very good idea for people who are like me, who like air gunning. Sometimes you have to get in within 30 yards, and some people just want to shoot in their backyard and they don't have 50 yards of range for the fixed parallax to adjust correctly. So having an adjustable parallax is a very must-have for especially backyard shooters. So very nice touch, and I am very glad that they added that. Some of my negatives are, I did notice that the scope turrets do skip a bit. If you're not careful, if you're turning them a little bit too fast, you might skip them. But that's just some little thing that I noticed. The objective lens is a little bit stiffer than the magnification ring. It's still smooth, but it's a little bit sandy sounding, and over time it should come out. It should be able to move a little bit smoother, but sometimes having to do that, it's just a little bit of a pain in the butt, kind of having to reach out and doing that. And again, $40, I might be being a little bit too harsh on it, but that's just some of the things I noticed, and I kind of want to point that out. I think I forgot to mention, I do like the illuminated reticle. Illuminated reticle is a nice touch for maybe a squirrel hunter or someone who's in a low light situation where you can't really see the reticle. It's a really good idea just to be able to turn this on and be able to see it. And you guys saw how very impressively bright it is. It's very bright. The reticle, I think, is a little bit too fat for my liking. But once you get into that, if you reach out, zoom it into 24 power, it thins out the reticle and you can actually tell what you're hitting. But if it was like a 9-power scope, I would say reticle's too fat and I don't like it. But since it's got that extra magnification, I don't mind it that much, but on a lower power, it might get on my nerves a bit that I can't really see what the heck I'm shooting. But again, it's a $40 scope. It's very impressive for that. I like how they added the drop compensation reticle. Air gunner like me, you sight in at 30, you want to reach out to 50. You don't have to memorize how much you're supposed to dial. You just have that to do that. And you can also count for windage. So I'm very overall impressed with the scope. I do have some minor things that I would like to see changed. But again, if you just want to dip your feet in the water, you just want to go in, just get a scope, and you don't really care about all the little minor details. You just want a good, clear scope with lots of magnification and an adjustable parallax, then I would say this is a good choice. But yeah, again, just my little minor things that I just noticed and I wanted to tell you guys about, so you guys know that you know what you're getting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks to MidTen for letting me review this really awesome scope, and it's definitely gonna be on one of my rifles. So see you guys in the next one.